Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The dice and decks, stuff like that I'm using are listed below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Cancer? Sorry, my CAT is being a little different today. So I'm like, what are you doing? Sorry. A little distracted there for a second. Somebody might be getting out of your way. And I feel like what they're saying is they can stay out of your way if you allow it. Somebody can't block you anymore. At least for a period of time, but I keep getting, if you allow it, that may hold for a while if you want it to. Whatever's going on with the situation, it's been a stressful one, but I think you're used to it. So it's almost like, to you it's like a daily thing, or maybe a weekly thing, where you just have to deal with this one aspect of a person or a situation, could be a job even. And you're so used to it that you're not seeing it for the stress it really is, because you're just like, yeah, that's going to happen, and I just deal with it the way I deal with it. It reminds me, I had a job where I worked for a financial institution answering calls, and I knew it was a little stressful, but I didn't realize how stressful it really was until I had like a month or two at a different job, and when I went to that second job and I was answering phones, but the stress wasn't there. It's like people wanted things, I needed to do things for people, but I wasn't getting, like, when I answered the phone, being met with a 4-letter word, for example. That was a colorful job. I just didn't realize how stressful it was until after. I knew it was stressful, but not the level of stress it was, if you follow me. It's very nice to answer the phone and not have a 4-letter word thrown at you. It's a luxury that I didn't realize was a luxury. You've been working at it, and you've been succeeding through it. You've been doing what you need to do with this situation. It is stressful, though. You have invested a lot of time here. What's with the open card? The openness. You're very giving to the situation. You're trying to do your best with it. Your heart's totally in it. There's a reason for this. It reminds me of somebody who helps out. Like, it reminds me of a grandma or grandpa, whoever, that helps out with the grandkids because they want things to work out. It's kind of like, I'll watch the kids after school because I want to make sure they're fed well. Otherwise, it's going to be somebody else that's being paid to watch them, and who knows what. They're just going to heat something up in the microwave, which is fine for some people, not for others. But you know what I mean? Or they're like, it's kind of like doing it because I'm like, I want them to bond to me. I don't want them to bond to, like, somebody who's being paid to be with them. Maybe that's a better analogy. So you've done what you had to do for a reason, and you're being a part of the situation for a reason. Your heart's in it. The reason you're doing what you're doing is because you have reasons behind it. But I feel like the situation has maybe grown, outgrown, overgrown, if you will. It's become more than it should be. And you're still putting in a lot of effort. but I do feel like the situation has become more than it should be, and you're like, I don't know really what to do with it. You got the Five of Swords thinking, I don't know if it's really, I don't know, I don't know if it really matters that I'm doing this anymore, but at the same time, maybe it would, I don't know if it would be good or bad. I don't know if I stopped doing it, if it would have a good effect or bad effect, or it just wouldn't matter at all. I'm not really sure. And you're kind of going with the flow. You're doing what you feel like is expected. You're not looking to upset the apple cart. It's been going on for a while. Currently, the current energy is like, maybe I was watching the kids after school and maybe you've been doing it for 5-6 years, for example. And at this point, it's kind of like, well, they have things they do after school. They have other things going on. I used to have to be there at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, but now they don't need anybody there until 5:30, and then they get home at like 6:30. So maybe there's somebody else who can do this. Maybe for that short period, maybe that's not something I need to do anymore. It's one of those things. I feel like it's just the analogy, but it's kind of like, I do care. Like, I get this with Kuan Yin. You very much care, and you don't want to like drop the ball or make people feel like you don't care. You don't want to give that impression in any sense. So like, you do definitely care, but it's becoming more of a stress, and it's kind of like, is it even worth it anymore? Before, I'd be there for a few hours and I could do things with them, and it was very helpful. Now the kids do things on their own and they don't show up till 5:30, and I'm only there for half an hour, hour tops, and they're running around doing everything. It doesn't seem to matter as much if I'm there. Maybe somebody else can do it. Whatever the situation is, I feel like you're getting an out. Whatever it is, you're getting an out. You're having a chance here to move on to something else. The situation just seems to be backing off for a while. Careful. My cat's a little crazy today, if I haven't mentioned. He's just, I don't know what's up with him. He's a little nutty lately. I get with the Five of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, something is backing off from you. It's backing off. It's giving you your space. This is not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing. This is a moment where you can create what you want to create, but the thing is, be careful. Cancer is extremely loyal. I feel like that's like, Cancer, in my opinion, is one of the most loyal signs. Not the only loyal sign, not the only one, but very like ride or die, very much. That's Cancer energy, in my opinion. And I'm getting the Ten of Pentacles. You could end up waiting and kind of like, well, I'm sure they'll need me again soon, so I'll just hold here to the side until they need me again, because I want to be that pillar for them. That's your business if you decide that's right for you. You don't need to do that. That's not really going to serve the situation, but if you feel you need to, you got to do what's right. There's another option. You can change your circumstances and put something else in that time slot, for example, where you're busy doing something else, and you can create an opportunity that you want. There's something else I feel like you'd rather do at that time anyway. And it's kind of like, before I was helping with this, helping with that, doing this, doing that, and things were more interactive. It's kind of like the current energy is like, I'm not even there. I'm there for half an hour to an hour versus like 3.5 hours before. I'm there for like a half hour to an hour, and the kids are just running all over the place and they don't really pay attention to me. Maybe I could do something more connected to what I want to do in life. And it's kind of like, you can put something in that spot. If you put something in that spot, if you create something in that time frame for you, you can be like, oh, I'm doing this now. They won't try to pull you back into that position, especially if it's not serving you, if it doesn't seem like it works anymore. They'll do something else. If that's where I was starting this off, you can create something else in this space. You can create something else for you in this time if you allow it, if you decide that that's what you want to do. This is literally up to what you want and what you feel like is best. I get that it's very uplifting and it raises your energy to put something for you in this time spot, because it could make that energy, or make your, like, when you do more for you, you're always, Cancer's a giver. I feel like Cancer's a giver. When you care about people, I feel like Cancer's a giver. When you do more for you, you have more to give to others. And I feel like when you pull more in for what you want, whatever this is, like I know a writer, I know people who have other things they want to do. Maybe you want, there's just time that you want to do projects that you want to do. This is time for you. You could, if you put something in that time slot, this time can be for you, and it would make your life better and the people that you love better, because you would be recharging your battery. Hopefully, I think that's what I'm trying to get to. Justice would come through on this. This would make this work. This would balance things out very well. This is not only good for you, this is good for other people because it recharges your emotional battery. This is very healthy for you. And in fact, again, it doesn't only help you, it helps other people around, because when your tank is full, you have more to give if you deem appropriate. This can be very good for you. There's something that's going on in this situation. I know it's a general read, but something that's maybe not that healthy for you. Maybe you're not being talked to or treated very well, or there's something here that's a little off. This will block that and will bring in a lot of healing. So if you're not being talked to respectfully, or if you're not being treated well, or people are just expecting more from you than they really should be, I'm going to use the grandparent analogy again. So it's kind of like, maybe not only were you expected to be there for the kids, but also cook for the kids, and they were expecting you to clean up stuff, and like, it's kind of like, you know, geez, like I'm showing up to help, not to be the hired help. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm saying that right, because I remember, I can think of one person, like their child that they raised, who had children, was expecting them to not only show up, but to cook, to clean, to have all this done, to do the laundry. Like, they expected a lot from their parent. And I just remember thinking, oh, I'm like, wow. I remember thinking, wow. Like, I just remember my parents wouldn't put up with that, but that's not how I was raised. But still, I just remember that. But they're saying this could put a block to that. This could put a stop to maybe some treatment that's not fair to you. And it could get them really thinking, or maybe even you thinking, this could really reshape the connection in a positive way. Kind of like, well, you know, all that stuff that cancer did for you, you're having a hard time finding somebody else who'll do that, right? Yeah, because cancer did way more than they should have. So you should, you know, be very thankful for cancer while they were there. But again, if you occupy that time, you can't go back to that. I feel like then you just keep busy with that time. You don't have to deal with that. This can last for a while. And definitely, as far as I can tell, because I'm getting, if you find that this works better for you, this balances out your energy better, and you could keep away from it as long as you want. So keep that in mind as well. So it's almost like whatever this situation is, I keep getting like, you don't realize how hard it is on you until you step away from it. Maybe the physical demands, the emotional demands, both, something more, who knows what. But you're not realizing how much of a toll this is having on you until you step away, and then you're able to rebalance this. And they're saying once you step away and rebalance it, you can keep that. Just keep that time busy with something else. Don't let them think that you have that time available for them, and they won't try to occupy it on you again. And that way you can be happier, you can have more fulfillment, and you don't have to worry about certain things that maybe you shouldn't be worrying about to begin with. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.